Hey everyone. Okay, so makeup expiration dates. What does it mean, and what does it mean for you? More importantly, you'll notice on the back of products sometimes, and particularly on the back of the boxes, there'll be a little symbol with like an open container, and it'll have a number in it, like 3 or 5 or 9 or 24, whatever it may be, and that gives you an indication of the expiration date of that product, at least by the manufacturer. It's worth noting that by law, nobody has to write the expiration dates on products, because who can really say? But I guess they do to cover their own back and to give an indication of when a product may or may not go bad. It's also funny and worth mentioning that the FDA did a study and found that bacteria was already present in brand new products even before they were opened. So that's an interesting thing to frighten everyone, but nothing to be scared of. So, when should you chuck your makeup? There is no real hard and set rules. In the description bar below, because I always fill it, there is a list of products that give you guidelines, but they are only guidelines. What I tend to think is it's best to use common sense. If a product stinks, it smells, it's gone off, you can see it's gone bad, it smells bad, it's separated, and when you shake it, it's still not going to its normal texture, chuck the product. It's better to be safe than sorry. And you don't want a rancid product on your face, because it's not going to look nice, and it's certainly not going to smell nice. But another way to look at it is think about powders in general. Powders tend to have a much larger shelf life because they're much less prone to bacteria and those kind of problems. So, you know, things like blushes, eyeshadows, powders, you know, loose, pressed, whatever, they can last a lot longer, and I mean a lot longer than is given on the packet. And remember, that packet, there's no, you know, they don't need to put it on there. There is no regulations regarding this. Things like foundations that are in bottles, they tend to be less problematic as well because they're sealed. In terms of you pump them out, a lot of them are airtight, so that they come out, you're not actually getting your fingers in there. So again, those products can last a lot longer, and so you don't need to worry about it. I've noticed that MAC Face and Body Foundation tends to separate and go bad much quicker than a lot of the other products that are in the pumps, so that's something to think about. As far as cream foundations, particularly those in jars, where you have to put your finger in or a brush to apply it to the face, there is more chance of getting more bacteria in those. Bear in mind that the second you open a product, it is exposed to air, airborne bacteria and all that kind of stuff. So you need to bear that in mind also. But by putting your fingers in it or a brush and then putting it to your face and then back and forth, called double dipping, you're exposing it to more bacteria. So those things can be a little bit more problematic. The one hard, fast rule is with mascara. You absolutely never share mascara, ever. And it really truly is best to get rid of your mascara about every 3 months or so. Another way to do it is if you bought a really expensive mascara, you can always get like disposable mascara ones. Pop one in, pull it out, do your eyelashes, chuck it away or wash it, and then get a new one and pop it in. That way you can keep your mascara a lot longer because you're not contaminating it by going into different eyes and things like that. So that's another way, but mascara is the one thing you really do not want to mess around with because it's your eyes. It's very important. I always find it really funny as well with double dipping because first of all, when you look at the makeup artists, you know, really famous makeup artists, they all double dip. I remember seeing a seminar quote with Sam Fine, who's an amazing makeup artist, and they asked the question with him, you know, well, why do you double dip? And he's like, well, we've never had any problems. And that's the truth. Most of the time you never have any problems. And here's another thing that I do every single time with every single thing I do, which is to disinfect the makeup. Very, very important to disinfect the makeup. There's a product called Beauty So Clean, which of course I don't have to hand, but you've seen it in my videos before. It's amazing. It's a spray that you can spritz all over your makeup. Hang on a sec, I'm gonna get it. Here it is, Beauty So Clean. Now this is the one product that I probably buy but once every 5 or 6 weeks. I go through a lot of this because I'm so obsessed with keeping things clean. What this spray does is it effectively cleans, rejuvenates and removes bacteria from pressed powders, eyeshadows, cream foundations, etc. It has been clinically proven to kill bacteria on products. And what you do is you get your product, whether it's a lipstick, a cream foundation, pressed powders, eyeshadows, you take the spray and you all over the eyeshadows. It disinfects the eyeshadows. It dries almost instantaneously and does not alter the texture of your products. At least then you know that you are not going to be contaminating you know, when you're dealing with either yourself or somebody else, it's so important, which is why I keep my kit so clean, because you cannot risk an infection, and eye infections are not fun. I've had them, believe me, they are horrendous. I've had a chalazion and it was a nightmare to get rid of, and it came back and horrible things. Keep your makeup 100% clean, and when in doubt, buy something like this, because it really can just change your life in terms of makeup. Keeping it clean is beautiful. So to summarize, the packet and the little open bottle with the number, it's just a guesstimate. If a product smells funny, looks funny, chuck it out. Be very careful with your mascaras. Don't double dip with mascaras by using it on someone else, and don't double dip with lip glosses. Anything in a tube that you have to push something in to pull it out, you do not want to double dip on. If you're going to double dip on your foundations, and a lot of people, and most people do with concealers, and of course you're double dipping with your eyeshadows, even makeup artists do, because they're going back and forth. You can't buy an eyeshadow for every single person we work on. Make sure that you're using a product like this to disinfect everything. Every single part of my kit that is powder and cream and anything in jars and pots is disinfected every single time I use it. Every single time without fail. And I've never had a problem with anybody, thankfully. So there you go. Don't pay too much attention to the number. If it looks okay and smells okay, it's probably okay. Make sure you clean it. And just to note, in the newspaper here in the UK, just recently on expiration dates, they tested some eyeshadows and some lipsticks that were 5 years old and found them to be in perfect working order in terms of texture and color, and there was no dreadful bacteria that could harm the skin. So it just goes to show, common sense is always the best thing. Okay, I do appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.